15 years as a bouncer.
Yeah.
Like, I've hurt people.
Yeah.
And I don't like that.
So why didn't you want people to know that?
I didn't want people to know the parts of my history that I wasn't proud of. This bouncer story, it was actually a night where I wasn't working. We'd gone to another club. They had a bouncer who's a dwarf. Put my hands out to be searched. He literally patted my legs down. He went, my colleague will do the top half. And it became a joke that went into a set. I had a lady say, you shouldn't say that joke because it's punching down. And I was like, ironically, that's exactly how I fight him.
You might have seen on Apollo, which you've done a couple of times now, and, you know, TV shows, which I know you've done. By the way, well done on the House of Cards. Did you come second?
I came second.
That was pretty impressive.
It's how I live my sex life.
You've done the old West End. What were you in, Daddy Cool?
I was in Daddy Cool.
You ended up at a party with some well-known people there, is that right?
It's us, Christina Aguilera.
Wow.
Denzel Washington.
What?
Nickelback.
What?
How often does this happen?
Never.
And I'm walking back to the dressing room, and I look left, and Denzel Washington stood next to me as he's walking back.
Did you speak?
Yeah. My brain's going, you say something to him right now because this could never happen again, and probably will never happen again. And all I could get out, which I thought was clever until the moment I said it, I went, is that the shirt you wore in Man on Fire? And my brain went, you idiot.
Hi and welcome to The New Mind. Now, before we go into today's episode, I just want to ask you a big favour. Please subscribe because it really supports the channel to grow and it allows me to continue to get amazing guests and to share these incredible life stories with you. The truth is, I learn something from every single guest and I know you will too. So hit that subscribe button and make me very, very happy. Thank you so much for supporting me. I appreciate you all. Now enjoy the episode. Well, let's start by introducing you. Emmanuel, welcome.
Hello.
You have come on a very rainy day and a very flooded studio, haven't you? You've swam through to the sea and there's water everywhere.
It's really not that bad. It's
Isn't
a
it?
couple of puddles. It's
Really?
fine.
Okay, if you say so. For me, this is a nightmare. For you, this is just...
You're going to not stop thinking about it,
No,
are
I
you,
can't.
as well?
It's absolutely on my mind because it's got to be cleared up. I'm going to leave it for a few days. Apparently things dry by themselves.
You know what, as well, I've been in the car. I trained this morning and I've been in the car for like the last couple of hours.
Oh, last time this happened.
Same thing now.
Oh,
I've got this
for God's
horrid
sake.
cramp. And it's, there it is. It's going to stay there. Every now and again, you're going to hear me wince.
And if you're listening rather than watching,
Yeah.
I'm glad you've prefaced.
Yes.
Because otherwise it could sound very peculiar.
I have an extremely weak core, apparently.
Do you?
No, I don't, but I just did some exercises which I haven't done for a while.
Right.
So already I can feel them going, yeah, we're going to hurt in a few days.
Have you been, before we go further, can I just say, be careful on that chair before we talk about your abs, because I'm starting to think about core strength. It's a bit wobbly.
I felt that when I sat down and my brain's going, stop shaking it, but now I can't.
And the reason that's really important for me to say is the last guy, you know, I said about you walking down the stairs,
Yeah.
be careful, because when he walked down the stairs, I said, I'm amazed you haven't fallen, because he kept running up and down. when he sat in the chair, he fell backwards into the back of the wall and everything went a bit mad. So I'm just aware that you could fall off the chair too.
I'm going to try not to move. Now that you've said that, because you're recording, and that will make a great clip. That's not going to be me.
So I'm just making you aware because you've just mentioned your core strength. So let's just be sensible here. No rocking on the chair.
I'm checking the legs right now.
I mean, we're flooded.
Oh, you are flooded. Look at that.
Yeah, I know. I told you. Oh, for God's sake. Yeah, it's a genuine thing, people. I'm not just making it up. Let's not touch anything else. Right. Okay. So You've been on tour.
Yeah.
Last time you were here, you were talking about your tour. And you've now been on tour for how long? This is the end of your tour coming up.
No, so the tour was meant to end at the end of this month.
Right.
But now it's been extended, so we'll do January, February, March.
Really?
And it'll probably go to June as well.
Wow.
So it's extended. And do you know what's really funny? My tour show changed after we spoke.
In what way?
We had such a lovely conversation.
Yeah, we did.
When I went back and reread my show, because you remember we spoke a lot about honesty.
Yes.
And we had that, and that was a real breakthrough for me, because there was a point in our conversation where I could feel myself lying to you.
Yeah.
And I just didn't like it. And I could hear my brain going, I don't like this.
Yeah.
And I can also feel myself knowing how convincing that would be to a lot of other people.
Yes.
So, and then it just got to the point where I just, like, you remember, and this was the off-camera part when I just broke and let it all out.
Yeah. That often happens, actually. As soon as we stop recording, people start telling me loads of stuff that they could have said on the actual bloody show.
And I think after that point, I really just looked at my show and was like, you're still not saying anything. You're still lying. And not lying in the sense of, I'm purposely telling you a fib.
Yeah.
But, like, for example, my first two shows, I said a lot, but no one really knew anything about me.
Got you.
I never let anyone in. It was I gave, literally, my show was called CV, Curriculum Vitae. I gave you the bullet points enough to get through the interview. That was it.
Wow.
Whereas this show, everything gets left on the table. And there's parts of this show, and I say it on stage, I don't want to put them in. I don't like talking about them. But if I don't put them in, I'm still lying.
Well, radical honesty is actually vulnerability. People talk about vulnerability all the time as though it's something that's mystical and magical and no one understands it. It's just radical honesty.
Yeah.
And that's with yourself and others. And you're doing it in a room full of hundreds of people.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true vulnerability, really. Although you're making them laugh, you're still being vulnerable.
Well, the show's, it's evolved as well. And it's because of the feedback I've got of parents, especially mothers, who have brought their sons to see it. And it's trying to show them, because there's a real thing of positive masculinity that's in the show.
Yes.
And so now I really try and emphasize on that, where I get to be the example that I maybe didn't have.
Yes.
And showing that you can do it, because there's so many stupid things that men cling to.
Yeah.
Like, do you know how people have got like these really irrational icks? They'll go on a date and someone will have like 2 earrings, 1 ear, and you go, I now can't stand you. Yeah. Like, men have got this, especially me, these irrational moments where you don't want to do something because I start picturing how other people will think.
Yes.
And so, for example, I really like a latte.
Oh, me too.
But there is no manly way to say latte. You can't.
You could say, give me a fucking latte.
You could try, but even then, you just look ridiculous. Like, there's no way to masculine, like, in any. I can't do it. So then I'll go into a shop and go, I'll have a tea, because that sounds butch. I mean, there's even
does it? Question that, because I'm not sure.
Tea.
I don't know if it does.
Well, it does. The way it's so sharp. I'll have a latte. See, look, I really enjoy a Tai Chi. What was it?
A Tai Chi?
I like a Thai
Do you mean
latte.
a chai tea?
A chai latte. I said Thai. I can't get any of the words out. That's how long it's been since I've ordered one. A chai latte.
Oh, God.
I had one and I was like, this is glorious.
Oh.
And now I will only order it if there's no one else in the shop. And I'll pretend it's for someone else.
What about if it's a drive-through?
I never go to the drive-thrus for coffee.
Why?
I can't be bothered.
What do you mean you can't be bothered? It's the easiest way to get a coffee.
I don't like stopping on the way to stuff.
I'm a bit like that.
I don't like stopping on the way to places.
Not even if it's for a wee?
No, actually. I'd rather, if I'm going from A to B, and someone will go, "Oh, can you grab this on your way home?" I don't want to. I want to
Yes,
go.
I hear you actually.
I want to
yeah.
go I want to get there.
Yeah.
This is my plan.
Yeah.
So I'm good at making plans. I'm not great when a plan has to be deviated.
Right. So, in other words, I've decided what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And even if I want to change that record, I'm not going to because the plan's in place.
I've got a plan. I've
Yeah.
started this now. And that is something that I do with loads of things. I go, right, this is the plan. This is what I'm doing.
So you changing your actual show after doing this podcast because you realised you needed to do a piece on honesty must have pissed you off.
Yeah. And then
You're welcome.
So I rewrote it 14 times.
14 times?
Every time I did a show or a work in progress, I'd go back and I'd just assess it. How was that? How did I like it? Is there anything? And sometimes I would say stuff that I didn't write down. I go, now that's got to go in it.
Yeah.
Or I would start writing. There was parts of this I started writing and then wanted to delete them because I was like, I don't want to talk about this on stage. And then I had that voice going, if you don't, you're still lying.
What's the biggest thing that you were trying to hide?
Or in this show?
Just in life.
Oh, in life, God, loads. In this show, probably the relationship, well, the non-relationship with my dad.
Yeah, because we actually finished that last episode, and because it was so full of beautiful things, we never really touched much on that relationship with your dad.
Well, lack of. There wasn't one.
Exactly, yeah.
So, and even in the show, I never really spoke about that to anyone because then it was a way of admitting that was the actual truth. And I didn't want anyone to know that truth. Do you know that's why I have a problem with religion and Christianity in particular? And it's because of the issues that I have with my dad.
Okay, so let's go there because now we're there.
We were brought up in a church.
Yes, I remember you saying.
And me having this father figure, everything was triggering for me and I didn't realise why until I got older. We're at church being told, this is your father figure, God the Father. And I'm going, where is he?
Yeah.
The same way as, where's my dad?
Yeah.
And everything that was that sort of that dichotomy between the two was just a reflection, again, of what I didn't have. So here's another father figure who's also not there, who's away for reasons that we're not told. And is coming back one day, but when? And then you start going, why would you leave? Look at all the crap that goes on in the world. Why would you leave it like this? This would be better if you're here. And every time I would start thinking about God as a deity, I'd just go straight back to thinking about my dad.
Yeah.
So I was like, who do I explain it to? Well, I said, there's a glimpse of belief, but there's zero faith.
Wow. And actually, you want it to be the other way around, like having faith in something, but you don't have to believe in anything. You just have to have faith. But yours was the opposite.
Yeah. It's like, and I think it's because I spent so many years in the church that it's hard now to not believe that there is something.
Yeah.
I just have zero faith in religion whatsoever.
I'm the same, though, because I think religion is the construct, the overall. So actually, if you go to quantum and quantum physics sort of gives us a bit more understanding of what it all means. It's all just energy.
Yeah.
And energy is magnetic. We know that, don't we?
Yeah.
And so, and it also hasn't been disproved. I keep talking about Einstein at the minute. I feel like me and Einstein are like, actually, if you think about it, I've just made this connection right now.
Yeah.
E equals MC squared. Ella McCrystal, EMC. This is why me and Einstein are like best buds right now.
When you say about it hasn't been proved, my question is, what does prove mean?
Well, Einstein's theory hasn't been disproved is what I meant to say.
But even then...
Yeah. What does it mean?
All that means is that somebody's created a compelling argument that fits your narrative.
Yeah.
Because if you're on trial for murder, it doesn't matter if you did it.
No.
It matters if these 13 people
think you did it.
I can prove you did it whether you did it or not.
Yeah.
That's kind of sometimes irrelevant.
Yes.
The law's a completely different language.
Yeah.
So when people say, oh, there's so much science behind this.
Yeah.
You're not saying anything.
No, you're not.
That kind of means nothing to me. So I'm like, you tell me. And that's where we get into the whole knowledge.
But that's
versus belief.
interesting, because what you've just said, not to come away from the religion and your dad, but what you've just said is Einstein's theory. His theory is about relativity, and how you observe relativity is your reality.
Yes.
So whether you believe in science or religion or not, it doesn't matter. It's how you observe it that matters. And then the idea is, and I truly do believe this just from lived experience, and I'm sure you've had this experience too, when you change your mindset and you change the magnet of your emotion and the frequency of your output, it changes.
Yes.
So that's what we know through our lived experience. And I suppose that's where I'm coming to with your dad and the religion, because we see something as a lack because other people have something that we don't.
Yeah.
And we're now, instead of looking at what we do have and being grateful for what we do have, we're comparing against what somebody else has, and then we feel the lack.
We do this in comedy constantly.
Yeah.
I do this with the gigs that we do.
You're in so much agony right now, aren't you?
No, I'm actually okay. So with looking at what other people have, this is a very common trope in stand-up,
Right.
or in us in entertainment. Because, so for example, when it comes to my ticket sales, my tour numbers, I keep focusing on the percentage rather than the number.
Wow.
So last night, I did this show where, honestly, I wasn't looking forward to it because it hadn't sold well, and I was like, I need to build myself up.
Yeah.
And I kept focusing on the number because it only hit like 50%.
Right.
In a room that holds 300 people. But all
Yeah.
I was looking at was 50%.
Yeah.
And then you take a step back, and this is where I do have to work on, and I'm getting better at it.
Mm-hmm.
You take a step back and you go, that's still 150 people
Yeah.
that have chosen to come and see you.
That's amazing.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
And the show was awesome. It was so much fun. And when you're on stage, you can barely tell anyway. Like,
Yeah.
it's very much the stuff that's in your head.
Yeah.
Because with comics, we want it to sell out.
Yes.
We don't want to, because what happens is, and this is another thing that happens in the brain of a comedian, because if I'm doing a club show, if I say there's a few comedy clubs here in Nottingham.
Northampton, but
Where
yeah.
am I?
You're in Northampton.
That's what I meant.
Nottingham's somewhere in the near distance.
I'll tell you about that. I'm so bad with areas.
It's because you're all over the
Yeah.
place. Yeah.
So my assumption of places is...
It just begins with an N.
So
That'll do.
It must be Northampton. Where am I?
No, you are in.
Right, I'm Northampton. So there's comedy clubs here in Northampton that if they book me and I turn up and there's only 12 people, I won't care because it's your club.
Yeah.
Like I'm coming to see you guys. Like,
Yeah.
if you haven't done your job properly,
I get you.
like, or for whatever reason, if it's not a busy night, that has got no reflection on me,
Yes.
or it's got no consequence to me really either.
Yeah.
Whereas when you do a tour show and people don't come, to us, it really, I'd go, everyone in Leicester hates me. and once that thought's in there, because you'll have, and it could have not sold for so many reasons. You don't know what's going on in that area.
Yeah, true.
Sometimes it could be bad timing, you don't know. And sometimes you'll get there and people, because there are people that will, yeah, we're going, but we buy the ticket at the door.
Yeah. So you don't actually
So
know
you don't
who's going to be
actually
there.
know.
Yeah.
But your brain goes, everyone there hates you. That's why they're not buying tickets. Because I've seen other people there and I've seen them sell out.
Yeah.
So this must be because of me.
Yeah.
And then even that's a very dangerous thing to get into.
Why do you think, do you know what just came to mind there? And it's not comedy, but you know those candlelight concerts? Have you heard of them?
I think so.
But they're candlelights because they've got the fake candles over the place, and it's usually a quartet of strings.
Yeah.
And they do Queen or famous movie orchestra or whatever. And they are quite small, so there's probably only ever maybe, I'll guess, 100 max in a room. So it's always aiming for smaller, and they're always packed out.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is it's become a very romanticized event, I think. Beautiful music that you know, done with strings, which is always gorgeous, and it's very intimate, so you know it's intimate, and it just keeps selling. And I think they sell nationwide as well as in Europe.
Yeah.
So what's different to that I know what I'm going to get. It's small, it's intimate. I know the music, I know everything about it, to a comedy show where it's someone that you might have seen, but you haven't seen loads of their works. You might have seen them on Apollo, which you've done a couple of times now, and, you know, TV shows, which I know you've done. By the way, well done on the House of Cards. Did you come second?
I came second.
That was pretty impressive. And,
Just
you know,
how I live my sex life.
So you do the shows and you get seen, but you know, people don't really know what they're going to get unless they've seen a show.
Yeah.
So it's not predictable.
Yeah.
So what for you, if you think about the human psyche, is the difference between the candlelight shows, which are very predictable, as opposed to something like comedy where you don't know what you're going to get? Because that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
It's unknown.
I think it's the escape as well. The escape of laughter.
Yeah.
That I think. I mean, I have the people that I have come to my shows, people that have followed me for a while.
Yes.
And even then, at some point, they had never seen me before.
Yes.
And then you've got the people that have seen clips, snippets.
Yeah.
And then you've got the people who have either come on a whim or someone's brought them down.
Yeah.
So they don't really know what to expect at all.
Yeah.
But I think people come to comedy to laugh.
Yeah.
The learning's secondary half the time.
Yes.
You've gone there because you like the person, you like what they're saying, and you want to laugh. You relate to them.
Yeah.
I think that's the main thing. Going to a concert I'd go because I like strings.
Yeah.
And I love classical music.
Yeah.
There's so many different film scores
Yes.
that I will listen to over the soundtrack because I think it's stunning.
Yeah, I agree.
There's loads. So like,
and I think that's the emotional part, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yes, yours is laughter, but something like the candlelight concerts, they're going to feel an emotion they know they've had before.
Yeah.
Whereas with comedy, and I was thinking about why they don't always sell out. Not that it matters, but it's actually because if you are 50, you know, say 150 people, they know who you are. The other 150 people don't know you yet.
Yeah.
So actually, it's just a case of,
and it builds as well.
Yeah.
It builds. There was one show on my first tour in Southampton, and it was towards the end of the tour. I was really tired from the tour. Like this is the first time I'd ever been out on the road on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have support acts as well. So I was literally on my own.
Because now you always have someone there, don't you?
Which is another thing to get into. I spent this whole time on my own. And then we were doing a show in Southampton at the Attic. The Attic, you could easily get 200 people in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe between maybe 180. They've changed it now.
Mm-hmm.
My first tour there, I think we had about 30 people.
Right.
So I didn't want to do the show, and I came up with so many reasons why. But the truth was, I was devastated because I thought everyone there hates me, and it's going to be a crappy show because I'm not up for it.
Mm.
And I don't like doing things that I don't want to do. It's the whole reason I got into comedy, because now I'm in control of what I want, what I get to do.
Yeah.
And I turned up to Southampton reluctantly, like I did not want to do the show. And I've just played there again, and I told the audience this. That first show was one of the best shows of the tour. Because they set out the seats in cabaret style, so it didn't feel empty. It wasn't in rows. And that audience was so excited to see me that they filled that room full of laughter. Yeah. And that show that I did then was pretty different to the show I'd done the rest of the tour, because it really became about this room. Yeah. And we had so much fun. Yeah. The next show went back down. It sold out quicker than any other venue. And then they did again this year because everyone left, told their friends, and they told their friends, and now everyone's grabbing the tickets. Well, and that's the build that you have to go through.
And also that goes back to the relativity thing, because it wasn't until you got in the room and felt the energy of the people in the room that you were able. So whilst you're up here in this construct, going back to what we were saying about your dad actually, and lack and God and all of that, when you're in the construct, it's the worst case scenario. Yeah. Which is obviously part of the survival response, the primitive response. But you get into that room, because they say that our frequency is about 10 feet around us. Yeah. So as soon as you're in 10 feet of the other people, you are now feeling their energy, which was they were so excited to be there, and it was very intimate, and we love intimate because it's connection.
Even last night, I walked into that venue going, what the fuck is this? Yeah. Because it was like it was I don't know whether it was a church or a courtroom, but it had elements of both.
Wow.
And I walked in, I thought, what the hell is this? And again, amazing gig.
Yeah.
Because at that point, because I've been there before and I've had that question, I revert back to going, enjoy it.
Yeah.
Let's take a step away and enjoy it.
And what's to be learned?
Yeah. I mean, even like the show that I perform now, this show is always slightly different because the room is slightly different.
Of course.
And the people are slightly different.
Yeah.
And there's parts in it I won't learn properly because I need to be in the moment with them.
A bit like the Matt Rife thing, because he really works. Do you know Matt Rife?
Yeah.
He works with the audience, doesn't he?
Well, his is crowd work.
Yes. So that's.
So
do you do a bit of that?
No.
Right. Okay. Not like Matt Rife at all, Ella.
For a couple of reasons. One, because it's not a skill that I've ever really practiced, I don't think I'm very good at crowd work.
Oh, I bet you bloody well are.
If something happens organically,
Yeah. that
I do enjoy.
Yeah.
And there's been, oh my God, Newcastle. I've got the clip of this. I'd come up on stage to do a few minutes before I bring the support act on.
Yeah.
So they don't come onto a completely cold stage. And I'd said my thank yous. We'd had some nice conversation. I was like, right, now let's get your opening act on. And there was this lovely old lady sat in the front row with a lady who turned out to be her daughter, her friend, and another lady who turned out to be her daughter. Mm-hmm. And I thought, she seems harmless. If I'm going to talk to anyone, it's going to be this little old lady here because she seems adorable. And all I needed to do is to start the clapping. That's it. Because there were other people around that I'm looking around and I'm just saying, no, you're not the right one. I think it'll be nice and adorable if it's you. So I've said to her, right, my darling, we're going to start with you. You're going to start the clapping. You're going to spread it around the room and we're going to welcome Jack on stage to open the show. Are you ready? And she just went, I'm from the Midlands.
Which is where I am.
But I was just like, Mum, and because I've got the mic, I'm out loud because this is funny. I'm like, what question did I ask? Because everyone can hear it now. I was like, okay, you're from the Midlands. Let's go with that. Whereabouts in the Midlands are you from? Because that's a pretty vague answer. Yeah. And she's looking at her daughter, who's now crying, laughing. And she's looking at me. I was like, do you know where you're from? I was like, and I'm saying to her, I'm going to warn you, the questions are going to get harder than this. Which is a very sort of hacky thing that comics will say if someone stumbles on an easy question. Yeah. And she's looking back at her daughter, who's literally, she's laughing her head off at this point. And her daughter's just gone, she's got dementia. And I was like, oh my God. And then for the next 10 minutes, we had this beautiful moment of crowd work back and forth. Oh. So when something like that happens, yes, I can do crowd work.
Yeah.
But when I go into an audience, I go, what do you do for a job? And they tell me 9 times out of 10, I haven't got a fucking clue what that job even means. So I never really do it. So because of that, I've never really honed that skill. I can have conversations with the audiences all day long. Yeah. And make it funny because it's the situation that's funny. Yeah. When people go and like, because normally it's the MC that does crowd work. Yes. But now, and a lot of it's because of social media. Yeah. So people don't want to burn material, so they put crowd work clips up. Yes. And now those have become more popular, but there's lots of clubs that now say, we don't want you do jokes. We don't want crowd work. That's the MC's job. Really? Yeah, because so many acts now, you're going to see a compilation show where there are 4 acts on a bill, 1 MC. The MC's done the crowd work. You're there because you want to hear the jokes from the different comics. So when they come out and they've got no jokes and it's just crowd work, sometimes the audience gets annoyed. Right. Because you want when there's a good bit of crowd work, you want it for the clips. We all do. Yeah. It's something that you can throw because it's never going to happen again. Yes. So and people like watching these things online. Yes. There are some audience members who go there wanting crowd work. I bet, yeah, because they want to be seen. Yeah. They want to be part of the show on Instagram or TikTok. And I'm just not very good at it. And I like telling stories. Yes. And I think because I've come from very much a theatre performance background. Of course, yeah. I like telling stories. Yeah, yeah. And you're so good at it.
But I can imagine.
try.
No, but you are good at it. And I think, but I can see that you could do both well, even if you don't really want to.
No.
But again, it's obviously, it's all about how you perceive your skill set and how you perceive them.
Everything is down to perception.
It is, which is going back to your dad. So
Mm-hmm.
let's take that perception back, because at this point in your life, when we go into that story of, you know, I struggle with God because I can't see him and he's not there, and you know, essentially that's my dad and that's the story. You then grow up with a lack of trust, I'd imagine, particularly with male figures.
Just in general, really, I was very, very skeptical.
Yeah.
Because I felt on my own.
Yeah.
That was the big part of it. And I was surrounded by people who had everything that I wanted.
Yeah.
So that was quite a difficult thing to live through.
When you say everything you wanted, you mean other families?
Yeah.
So they had their dad?
More than that, they had stuff. Like, I look back now and I'm so grateful to my mum, because we never went without anything.
Yeah.
Like, I was never hungry.
Yeah.
But we always had. I'm only now sort of seeing how hard my mum worked and how hard we all then had to work.
Yes.
But I like it because it's given me these work ethics now.
Yeah. And you do work really hard.
I think I have to. I can't tell my kids they've got to work hard if I don't work hard.
That's
you have
very
to be
true.
the example that you want to see.
Yeah.
Even now, I don't buy my kids anything.
Yeah.
If they want it, they've got to work for it.
Yeah.
Because through no fault of their own, they now have everything.
Yes. It'd be so easy, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And it is very easy to give them stuff. Mainly because sometimes I want it too.
Absolutely.
But I know that if I do that, and like very, very, on a very stupid level, I'm very into my trainers. I like my Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to have matching Jordans with my little boy.
Yeah.
And it'd be very easy to buy my pair and then just buy another pair for him to wear.
Yeah.
But he'll never appreciate it if you're just constantly,
It's true.
if you haven't got work for anything,
Yeah.
there's no appreciation.
Yeah.
So now they have to, and he's 11 now. So I've set him up with a Vinted account. And anytime he asks me for anything, I say yes. I say, you can have whatever you want, but you got to work for it.
Love
And
that.
I constantly say it to him, and now he's stopped asking for stuff all the time.
That's really good. That's a really top tip.
Yep. And I literally, anything that, I started him off with Vinted, and I took him out to the shop. We went around a few charity shops and just thought, what can we get that we can sell? What's going to be a good bargain? We got a load of books, we got a couple of T-shirts. And now, so if I stop wearing something, I give it to him. It's now your responsibility to put it up.
How old is he?
He's 11.
That's really cool. It reminds me of, I had a guest on years ago. She was probably one of the first guests. She's called Tracy Kiss.
Mm-hmm.
And she had been a glamour model, but she was a really great mind, you know. That's why I had her on. She was so interesting. She studied all the time, and she went into glamour modelling by accident. She was the ugly duckling, her words, not mine. And anyway, she brought her daughter with her that day, and they'd set up an Etsy account. And basically, the daughter couldn't do business studies GCSE because the school said she didn't get in for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
So Tracy set her up with an Etsy account. And I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe they were making like 30 grand a year from this Etsy account. And the daughter was, you know, while she was 16, just making all of this money.
Yeah.
And, you know, Tracy didn't need it. By this point, Tracy had the money.
Yeah.
They didn't need to do it. But go to your point there. It's teaching a work ethic and it's
You need to
showing
have
appreciation.
that. I said this to my niece. I said this to my kids. Everything you have, somebody had to work for.
Yeah.
And one day, that somebody's going to be you.
Yes.
So get that work ethic now, because I believe there's two times in your life. There's work hard and there's play hard. And you're going to do both.
Yeah.
But if you do the play hard first, the work hard is much harder.
Yeah, it's true.
If you do the work hard first, the play hard's more fun.
Yeah.
Because now you can go and do stuff. And it took me a long time to realise that, because I did the play hard first.
Yes.
And so because I did the play hard first, I then had to work really hard to make it look like I don't work really hard.
Yeah. And people will assume that about you because they'll see you on the telly, they'll see you touring and they'll think, oh, it's easy for him.
Yeah.
There will be all of those people. That must be so frustrating because let's not forget, going back to your first episode, you nearly died getting here. like literally nearly died. I still find it both hilarious and heartbreaking all in one go.
Snap.
And I know that's what the tour's about, really, about nearly dying. But I think there's so much greatness in nearly dying because you learn the appreciation of life, number one. And also you definitely put your priorities in order, number two.
Oh, God. Do you know I don't argue anymore because I think it's pointless.
It is.
I was like, if someone disagrees with me, I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to have to be right.
That's ego. You don't need that anymore because you're doing
I
your
like
life.
what I think, so I don't care.
Yeah.
And I think if someone's got a different opinion to me, I'll always listen to it. So now I actually like having conversations with people I disagree with.
Yeah, really important.
Because you're thinking about something very differently to the way that I'm thinking about it, and I might learn something.
Well, somewhere in the middle is probably about right.
Yeah.
Truthfully.
And so now, if I've got an opinion, my opinions are normally formed on life experiences, and I like my opinions.
Yeah.
So if someone's got a different opinion, I'm like, all right, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
And they can argue till they're blue in the face.
Yeah.
Well, that's just your opinion, and that's fine.
What can change your opinion, generally speaking?
If I agree with them.
But how do you know if you agree with them? If you've got quite a strong opinion.
If it makes sense.
Right.
Do you know what? If it balances. So I've got a very mathematical brain.
Yeah.
I need balance. I need that equation to work itself out.
Yeah.
So if there is something that sits in that equation that, like, oh, that's a new check and balance, I'll then take it on board.
Fair enough. So it's all about, it has to be logical.
Not necessarily logical, it just has to make sense and balance.
Yeah. Okay. So if something didn't make sense, but actually it turned out to be true, would that challenge your idea of balance? Because I suppose that's...
Well, then we go, what is truth?
Yeah.
So this is, but yes, it would. So if someone says something, so my thing is now, if someone says something that doesn't quite sit within that equation, I can see a place for it, but I don't know where it sits. All I then do is ask more questions.
Yes, that's that. And I think curiosity, although it can kill you, it is one of those great tools as well, because you end up finding out so much more.
Yeah.
And I think it's really, do you know what? You're in a really good place. And I feel like I'm there as well. Not maybe 100% of the time, of course, but if you are quite happy to be wrong sometimes and to be like, this is what I think.
I teach my kids this.
Yeah.
Be wrong.
Be wrong, because
you learn so much more
from
being wrong.
Yes, you do.
Or losing.
Yeah.
Than you do from, like, winning's easy.
Yeah, it is.
Losing or being wrong.
That's where you're challenged.
Yeah. And so I encourage them to make mistakes.
Yeah.
So when they're doing tests and all the questions they got right, great. We know you know them.
Yeah.
So when especially like with my son, he'll bring me a question that he got wrong. And my thing is, do you understand why you got it wrong?
Yeah.
Like, because you can always figure it out. You can always get it right. Because what a lot of kids do when it comes to schooling as well, and I do think schools need to push this more. Mm-hmm. They teach you to remember a series
they do.
Facts.
It's ridiculous.
Whereas with my son and my little girl now that she's in like year 4 now at school, and she's doing really well with her spelling, with her maths. It's if you understand the topic, you can figure out the answer. Yeah. You don't need to memorize anything if you can figure it out, because you can work it out. And also, me and my boy had this English homework to do. And the best thing that I ever got taught was the answer is always in the question. Yeah. And it's still the same now. The answer's always in the question. Yeah. I was like, what you're doing is you're reading words, but you're not trying to comprehend what they're actually saying. Yes. So read it by a sentence and then go, what does that sentence mean? And now it becomes a lot easier to actually understand what it is that you're meant to be writing about. And I suppose that is life, isn't it? Like the process gives you the answer. The present moment is always there. And I suppose then if you look at your show and then where you were saying about I wasn't being honest and I wasn't telling the truth of who I was. Yeah. Because the truth of who you were, you didn't want people to see. Yeah. Talking about getting it wrong, what you perceived to be a lack. Yeah. Or maybe, I don't know if you've thought this, but
did you perceive yourself to be flawed because your dad wasn't there?
Oh, no, I just knew I was flawed because I did horrible shit.
So you were flawed in one way or another, but
Yeah.
how did that stop you being radically honest?
Because I didn't want people to know what those flaws were. I
Right.
didn't want people to know what those horrible things were that I did. I didn't want people to know the parts of my history that I wasn't proud of.
So why didn't you want people to know that?
Because I knew that it wasn't, because I was ashamed of it. And I thought if they know it, they'll be ashamed of it as well. Maybe they won't like me.
So what? Okay.
So we've all got this, especially in comedy, this perception of who you think I am.
Yeah.
And what I needed to do was then step away from that and step out of that.
Yeah.
Because then what will happen is people will see me outside of comedy and go, that's not what I thought he was like.
Yeah.
And I need that to marry.
So I guess this is the interesting piece. So let's just keep it simple. You are flawed, as is everybody.
Now I'm perfect.
You are flawed like everybody else. And so everybody else, you know, even though there might be slightly different flaws, we're all in the same gang there.
Yeah.
And then we go out on stage or we do our jobs and we turn up in life, which is a stage in itself. And we hope that people won't see the same flaws that they probably have, if not, you know, slightly different. And we put a mask on or we cover that up with a performance.
Yeah.
We become very performative in many, many ways in order to hide the thing that we think is not good.
Yeah.
And then when we reveal the thing that we think is not good and everybody also goes, oh, yeah, I can really relate to that, we realise that that's not a problem after all.
Yeah.
But here's the bit. I don't think anyone ever reveals all of their dark secrets, even if they're being more honest, because there's still that part of you, even though you do that process, that goes, yeah, but if you knew this bit.
Yeah.
And of course, as a therapist, people tell me the worst of the worst. I won't tell you what someone said to me earlier, but they'd had a dream and I was in the dream.
Right.
And let's just say it was a version of me that I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
And they were just an observer of this dream, that it wasn't that bad. But they didn't want to tell me. I was like, just tell me.
Yeah.
And actually, it made me laugh so much that it was a wonderful thing to share.
Yeah.
But I think they know me well enough to know that I'm not going to judge. But there are things that people say on a daily basis, and I think they think it's going to shock me. And because somebody else has said something equally as shocking, it doesn't. And it just leaves me in a really, I think, a better position than everybody else, because I know nearly all the secrets there are to know about people, and I think it makes them more beautiful.
Yeah.
So now, with your internal thoughts, even though you're in the process of being more honest and more vulnerable, what part of you still thinks, if you knew that? Like, explain that to me.
Oh, there's loads. There's loads of things. Well, actually, no, it's not so much you. It might be general public. And actually, no, not even general public. It's, I think, like, for example, 15 years as a bouncer.
Yeah.
Like, I've hurt people.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. I don't like watching MMA. I don't like seeing people get beaten up.
Really?
And a lot of it is because I know exactly what I've done to people.
Okay, so tell me more about that.
It could be for any reason.
But the darker side of your nature.
It's my temper.
Right.
So I still stand by, I've got a horrible, horrible temper.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly violent.
Mm.
But now I know what my triggers are, and I maintain it, I manage it. So now you'll probably never see me get angry.
Mm.
I'm probably the most patient because I know what worse looks like.
Let me ask you this question. This is good. This is very good work. Therapy with Ella in session. So with that, you know what your triggers are. What's the wound underneath the trigger that actually gets exposed when your temper comes out?
One is not speaking about stuff.
Yeah.
That was my big problem as a kid. I wouldn't speak about anything that bothered me.
So that was the symptom of the wound. What was the wound?
I don't know. It could have been my a lot of it is my dad not being there.
Yeah.
And when he was there, it would have been the physical beatings that I got off him.
Yeah.
It could be the frustration of not having what I thought I wanted, which was what I saw everyone else have. It was the embarrassment of me being like ashamed of where I was as a kid.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have, and when you're being invited to your friend's house and you're going there, you're like, this is what I want. And we haven't got that. It's then that. So there's so many different things that now I'm much better at talking about.
Yeah.
And even like where I live in North London, there'll be times we'll be driving down the road and I'll point things out to my kids like, that's where I went to primary school. I was like, this is where Daddy grew up. We go, even as we're walking around, I like to show them more now.
Yeah.
And I talk to them about these things about, because my son, I could sometimes see my temper in him.
Yeah.
So it's teaching him that you can take a deep breath and why people are annoying you and what that means, and let them know that I've been angry too. Like you're not alone in this. You're not, because that's one thing I did used to feel, that you're the only one going through.
Yeah,
this.
that is the big problem, because up until a certain age we don't develop ego boundaries.
Yeah.
So all children are, it's about me and I am the problem and everything is me, and it's natural.
Yeah.
But obviously if you don't get the support at the right time as the child, like you're saying about your son, teaching him things, because he hasn't got, well, he will be developing that ability now, but prior to this
he shows such empathy more now than he did even a couple of years ago.
Which makes sense, because he's getting those ego boundaries. He's starting to work out for himself what feels comfortable and what doesn't.
But for me, what happened was I wouldn't speak about all of these things ever. And then all it would take, because it was all pent up, someone would say something stupid and I'd see red. And my problem was, when I see red, there's no stopping me.
Yeah.
I'm going to fight something.
Yeah. It's gone. The switch is gone.
The switch is completely gone. And there was actually once that it genuinely felt like I was watching me beat this guy half to death. It was horrible.
Yeah.
And it was only because a barmaid from the local pub stood in front of me.
Yeah.
And it was just like, stop. Because I knew her very well. She knows I'm not going to hurt her.
Yeah.
And the moment she stood in front of me, my whole body just went.
Very interesting, because from a primitive level, you saying that, with dogs, when they fight, you cover their eyes.
Yeah.
So you break the state. So you just needed someone when you were emotionally dysregulated in that way to break the state. But all I see there is pain. Have you ever watched The Wire?
Yeah.
Did you ever see the scene? And it was quite a horrific scene. I cannot remember what season it is, and I cannot remember the character's name. But he was with, what was the character? What was the girl in it who in real life was... with the dreads, the little plaits.
I forgot. I know. In real life, she was her in real life.
Yeah.
Yes.
She was with him, and there's a scene where he's basically punching someone. I think he'd been sexually abused as a boy.
Yeah.
And he's punching someone, and you just see the scene, and he won't stop punching him. And it was horrific, because you can see the blood. You probably don't remember the scene, and if you do, then...
No, I know which one you mean.
And all I could see was his pain.
Yeah.
I couldn't see that he was angry. I could just see the pain, because that's what anger is.
Yes, and
it's
there's only a
unprocessed
few
pain.
actors that are very good. There's Liv Schreiber and Ray Donovan.
Yes.
Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't seen it. But
there's parts of that, and it's brilliant. It's such a good portrayal.
Yeah.
And you see not just his pain, you see his brother. You see how pain manifested for each of them very differently.
Yes. Oh, it's always the same. It's always the same. And this is the problem when you've got more than one child, or you grow up with siblings, is you are compared to those siblings. And actually everybody it's like metabolization of dopamine or food. We all metabolize slightly different. It's the same with pain and our perception of pain.
Yeah.
And that's the key. It goes back to that relativity theory, which is, and the key to it is that once you're having this conversation with your son, but once you understand I'm in pain.
Yeah.
And actually the root, I think your wound was simply, which is very common, I'm not enough. I'm not.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'm not important. I'm not enough. No one cares. Not really. Nobody cares about me. So I'm just
That's still a thing now, that I have to work through.
Yeah.
And there's so now, and I have got much better at doing this, there are days where I have to sit down and just say to myself, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
And every time I do that, the floodgates open, and I have to let it out.
Yeah.
Because for today, I'm just not okay.
Yeah.
And I need to be not okay. And I need to let that out and process that feeling and process that emotion.
Yeah.
Because it's like, do you remember we spoke about jealousy and envy?
Yes.
Jealousy being about the person, envy being about the thing. And I always explain, any time someone says to me they've got this feeling of jealousy, I always push back. Is it jealousy or is it envy?
Yeah, it's going to be a really important question.
And the reason people push back on it or don't like to admit it is because it's perceived as a negative reaction to something.
Yeah.
And for me, it goes back to energy. I don't believe it to be positive or negative. I think what you do with it will change the outcome.
Yeah.
Because there are times when I see people that are in the same field as me, perceivably doing more than I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it bothers me. And I have to say that that's making me feel jealous.
Yeah.
Not the person, because sometimes, not the time I know them.
Yeah.
They're a friend, they're a colleague.
Yeah.
That's not what's bothering me. They're doing the thing that I want to do.
Yes.
And then I have to process it. I remember there was this one, I saw a friend of mine doing a show. I don't even want to do the show, but I'm going, what you're really feeling is you want to be on TV more.
But that goes back to the little boy that wanted what other people had. Yeah. It's still, that part of you is still, although intellectually being processed, somatically, that little boy comes back up. I want what you've got. And I can't get what you've got because my dad's not around or because we haven't got the money.
So this is where it changes now. So, because you're 100% right. I've always got this feeling of going, I'm not good enough. Yeah. I want those things.
Yeah.
And as I started to break it down, what I was really thinking was, I want that opportunity because that opportunity is going to lead to a better profile, which will lead to better ticket sales and an easier tour.
Yeah.
Because what I actually want to do is quit comedy.
Yeah, and to have freedom.
Yeah, so I think things are special because they end. That's something that ends, that's why it becomes special.
Yeah.
Like TV shows, the best TV shows end and no one wants them to end.
Yeah, like...
But because they did end, because The Wire ended...
Yes, it did.
It was special.
And I was grief-stricken.
Yeah,
and
Sopranos, I was furious.
Yeah, like, how dare you?
Yeah, give me 100,000 more episodes, please.
I know, but you're right. Like, they remain special because it's over.
So when it comes to this now, what I've got better at doing is going, okay, this is what you're feeling. That's what you want. How do you get it?
Yeah.
And then we work it backwards. And then I'm gonna use that feeling of jealousy for something positive rather than let me take me somewhere negative.
Yeah.
So that's just how I process things differently now. And that's when I'll come up with a new idea for a TV show or I'll come up with a new joke.
Yeah.
And then that happens. And it does, it works because do you know the whole thing? People get what they deserve. No, they don't.
No, they don't. They get what they work for.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that simple. But you also have to believe that.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Belief is I think is far stronger than knowledge.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I have less knowledge than people think I do. I know a lot about what I know. Yeah. And when I say I'm stupid, and I'm not putting myself down, I'm being very realistic. There are things that I am stupid at. You said you loved maths. Absolutely. Don't come anywhere near me with any form of numbers. It will go, I think the world will blow up.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea. And I am stupid when it comes to numbers. And I'm okay to say that. People don't like to hear me say that because they think I put myself down. That word is comfortable for me to say. Please don't make me call it something different. I love stupid.
It when people change words. It cracks me up.
I know. It's like, I used to be fat. Stop trying to tell me I'm curvy. I'm fat.
But it was the big boned.
Yeah.
Like, plus size.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know the word you're really saying.
Yeah, just say it. You're fat.
It's like when people say the N-word rather than actually saying the N-word.
I know.
I still hear the N-word when you say the N-word.
In fact, probably louder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because now you're just doing it in code.
Yeah. You just did that, by the way.
But it's little things like that. Because do you remember when they said about, I don't know if you've seen this, but they were talking about changing the flag, that George Cross is too aggressive. So people have been campaigning to get a new flag.
What would they put on it instead?
I don't
Teddy
know.
bears, unicorns.
The thing is, the moment you change it,
I know.
I know, like, it's worse now.
Yeah.
Changing the flag doesn't change the issue.
It's a societal problem.
It's a societal problem.
Yeah.
So many people do this where, I know how we'll fix this. We'll just change the word.
Yeah.
And now it's fine now because we've got a word for it.
That's so true.
And then
It doesn't work.
all I think you do is give people license to
it's just
not
Tourette's.
deal with... Yeah.
People will say it now because they're not allowed. It's like saying to a kid, don't jump in the puddle, which we have many of in this room.
Yeah.
They want to jump in it.
Yeah.
Because you've said don't do it. So the minute you just go, it's okay to say that, but you have to kind of understand why it's offensive.
Yeah, let's look at it.
Yes, exactly.
Because my favourite is when, and I do this in comedy a lot, I really enjoy using trigger terms in their correct context so they're not triggering.
Right.
So there'll be, I used to do this joke, I say a joke, it's a story. And it was a story from when I was... as a bouncer.
I know the story. Is this the one you shared on your bro podcast?
No,
that's
this is
a great...
another one. So this one, and actually I'll tell you the actual version of what happened.
Right, okay.
Which is one of my new favourite things to do, because when it comes to stand-up, we put artistry around it.
Yeah.
And I again, it's on stage. There are things that have happened that I joke about, that I've joked about it so many times, I now can't remember what actually happened.
Yes.
Literally, I've got no clue.
That is a problem.
And then sometimes I'll be saying stuff and I'll go, is that how that actually happened?
Yeah.
So now, when I write down jokes or come up with stories, I always write the actual thing that happened first.
That's amazing.
So I can go back and I can retain that memory.
Because you know that we recall something from the last time we remembered it, not from the time that it happened.
Yes.
So every time you tell the story,
it changes.
Like gossip, it changes a little bit.
Yeah.
So you're right to do that because you're actually doing that all the time.
Yeah.
Telling the same stories.
I do it constantly, which is why I used to tell people my life feels like a lie.
Yeah.
And which is why I changed the show.
Yeah.
Because I was now just I was doing it again in another show.
You should have just called it the Big Fat Liar Show.
Oh, that would have been more apt for it, actually. But yeah, this bouncer story, it was actually a night where I wasn't working. We'd gone to another club and they had a bouncer who's a dwarf. And when I'm on stage, what I like is the moment I say the word dwarf,
yeah.
you can see everyone's arseholes clench.
Well, I did that with my mouth.
Yeah, because they think I'm going to say something horrible about the dude.
Yeah.
And this guy, hilarious, because as we walked in, by instinct, when I walk into a club and the bouncers are there, I put my hands out to be searched. I'm twice this dude's size. And then my hand out to be searched, and he literally patted my legs down. He went, my colleague will do the top half, which was hilarious. And we all stood there laughing.
Love it.
And it became a joke that went into a set.
Love it.
But the funny thing is, people go, they say, because I've said the word dwarf, I was like, I'm not being negative with it though. No. And the funny thing was, I had a lady say, you shouldn't say that joke because it's punching down. And I was like, ironically, that's exactly how I fight him. Which is a funny joke. And it's a funny image.
Yes.
And but because people, they get to a word and stop listening because they've been told that's offensive.
Naughty, yeah. And actually, is it offensive? Why is it offensive?
No.
Why is it offensive to say dwarf?
It's not offensive.
No, I don't think it is. I mean,
that's the correct term.
Yeah, I don't know why people are because you have to say little person.
I don't like saying that.
It's silly.
I feel disrespectful saying that.
Yeah.
They might like it, or some people do.
Yeah.
I choose not to.
I don't know.
Because you think normally, the funny thing is, I very rarely have the reason to say dwarf or little people.
You've said it loads today.
Said it loads today because of the context. But if I was speaking about, because I know literally two. That wouldn't be the word I'd use to describe them ever anyway. No, because that's not what I'm seeing. Yes. The same way I like how I describe my friends or people, how I describe most people. It's not going to be like that characteristic unless there's loads and you're not just not getting it.
Yeah, yeah. So how would you describe me?
If in what context?
Well, just if you were pointing me out in a room.
Blonde lady over there. Like yes, and this is the math brain in me.
Yeah.
I like the shortest version of any answer. So what happens in maths, especially in algebra, you have this long equation, and what you do is you whittle it down to its simplest form.
Yes.
That's even with I did this with fraction. So a fraction is an absolute, whereas a number, an integer, is an approximation.
Oh, sorry, what word did you just say? An integer?
Yeah.
Do you mean, why did you say that word? What is it?
A number.
So why did you say an integer?
Because that's what it's called.
I've never heard that word in my 47 years.
Right, so 1 is... Okay, so the difference is we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever.
Yeah.
An integer, 1, 2. But in between that is an infinite set of numbers and facts. So you've got 1 and 2, they're the integers. You got to think, because I can go 1.1.
Yeah, 1 point, yeah.
So, and 1.1 still, it could be an integer, because it's what all we've done is found a way to make chaos make sense. That's all math is.
So that reminds me of the quantum physics fact that everything is 99.99999% nothing.
Yeah.
And only 0.1% something.
Yeah.
And so that is upsetting.
So if you pick a number, I live 5 miles away. I might live 5.1. It depends on where you go. Might
Yeah.
5.2.
Yeah.
But what we do is we round it down.
Yeah.
We round it down to make sense.
Yeah.
But it could be like you see, think pi is 3.142, and it goes on and on and on and on, and people just cut. So you might say pi to 10 places,
Right.
and that's where they'll cut it off.
Yeah.
Whereas pi as a fraction is 22/7.
Yes.
22 divided by 7 gives you the same number as pi.
Right.
So 3.14 isn't exact, but 22/7
Got you.
is.
Yeah. So with this integer, why does nobody else know that word apart from you?
Loads of people know that word. It's you that doesn't know that word. And so because of that, I like to keep things simple.
Yeah, that
so
makes
when
sense.
people ask me a question, I will answer the question you've asked. And sometimes I do it purely to be pedantic, because I know that what you're asking me isn't what you're really trying to ask me.
Oh, I see. You're that guy.
Yeah.
You're stubborn.
Sometimes I do it just because I find it funny and it's annoying.
Yeah.
And the worst thing is I know I'm being annoying. Okay, can you pass me the remote control? Of course I can. It weighs nothing. I'll work out.
That's so funny.
Will you pass me the remote? Probably. What? Now? No. And I do, because it does make me laugh, or I'll take people's comments literally as well.
Like what?
I remember getting a new phone and someone going, "I cannot believe how fast this is." I'm like, "You want to take that back then, didn't you?" Called him a liar. I just got this new phone. I don't believe it. I literally died. Did you?
Yeah, because people do. The English language is interesting.
Yes.
Someone was telling me a short time ago that the Polish language, which I have no idea about, is very, very simple. They don't use a lot of words.
Yes.
So the English language, like, is ridiculous because we use so many words that don't always actually make sense. They're not literal.
Yes.
And it's ridiculous.
It's hilarious.
Like, to say I literally died, or my worst, and sorry for everybody that's listening, including you, I hate it when people say, especially if it's on a chat show. So they'll go, "So how did it feel performing in front of 20,000 people?" "Oh, I shit myself." I'm like,
Well, you didn't, did you?
No, you didn't, but now I have the visual image.
Yeah.
And why, you're a young lady, why would you give anyone that image? No one needs to see that image. Nobody wants to know. Why are we using those words?
The other word that I don't like, and I still use it, and it annoys me when I use it as well.
Yeah.
Is actually.
Yes, it's well overused.
You don't need it.
You don't need it.
If you take actually out of a sentence, it's still the same sentence.
Yes, it is. Extra words.
Yeah.
The same with the word like. How many people cannot do a sentence without saying like 14 times?
Or so comedians have this. I think every comedian will have it's either a nervous tick or the gap filler that they use. Mine would be the word right.
Right, yeah.
Some people go, yeah. And they'll be talking, they'll be doing it. So I was walking down the street, yeah. Then when we got down to this pub, yeah. And it's like this confirmation that you're on the same level as me.
Yeah.
And I think if you watch back my first Apollo, I say right so many times.
I didn't notice.
Because I'm so nervous.
Yeah.
And I watch it back now and I'm like, will you please stop saying that?
Do you know what mine is? Yeah. The amount people talk to me, I go, yep. Yeah. I do it on all the time.
I do that when we're having a conversation and it'll be in your gaps and I'll go, yeah.
And someone pulled me up on it on one of the episodes. And I think I might have shared this before, but someone put, I wish that girl, obviously the interviewer, would stop saying yeah. And at first I was really offended. And then I just thought it was hilarious. And I just commented on her comment saying, do you know what? I did my own head in listening back because it was just like, why are you saying yeah?
Now I'm going to be really conscious of it now.
Because we do it. It's active listening.
Yes.
We're trying to...
I changed it that time.
It says yes with an S. But we do it to show that we're actively listening, that we care.
Agreed.
But the problem is it almost becomes, again, it's that Tourette's thing.
Yes. I agree with what you've said up to this point, and I'm patiently awaiting the next sentence.
But there's the overuse of English words again. Why do we do it? That's so awful for the people listening, that horrible noise that's coming out of my body. I can only apologise.
But think of the alternative. Imagine I just sat here as you're speaking and just said nothing.
It'd be awful.
That would be really, really awkward. Like if you took that out of it, because it is active listening. And even though you're nodding because you don't want to say it. But if you took that out and there wasn't that, because they're integers.
Yeah.
They're markers of a conversation to say that we're both up to speed on the same thing.
Interject. Is that like a form of integer?
It probably comes from the same. Well, no, to interject is to interrupt. But
isn't that marking something?
Yes.
Marking the space?
Yes.
Now it makes sense. I'm on board.
And all words come from something like that.
They do, yeah.
And they're just words.
Yeah.
There's a fun thing I do in the show. And I do it right at the end to, basically I'm talking about recreational drugs. Because we know what we're meant to say. Drugs are bad. We're meant to say that.
Yeah.
And so in the show, I talk about having high thoughts. And this was a thought. I didn't even have this like from being high. I just had this thought.
Because you are high, baby.
John, well, this was the place to put it. And you go, what does high being mean? But that's a whole other conversation. And what I love about words are just noises your face make that I happen to understand.
Yeah.
And I find that hilarious.
Yeah.
And I first saw this on a comic strip in a paper where it had this guy waking up in the morning, he opens the curtains, there's two Robin Redbreasts, and let's get that word right. There's a guy waking up and he opens his curtains and there's two Robin Redbreasts singing their lovely song, chirping at each other. And he says, oh, what a lovely morning. Listen to their beautiful song. And then it hones in on the two birds and he's going, fuck you, Steve. That's my branch. I was here first, you asshole. Get off my branch. And it just made me laugh because what we're hearing is the sweet sound of these birds, but we don't know what they're doing to communicate.
No, that's so true.
Maybe he fucking hates it.
Yeah.
And it cracks me up when I see anything like any nature documentary and they say, this is what's happening. I'm like, how do you know? Like, you can guess, you can watch it for a long time, but you still might be wrong.
Yes. And that's so interesting because we look at things and we go, oh, that's so cute. And then they start having sex.
Yeah.
And you're with your kids and you're like, oh, please don't look.
Have you seen, I think, is it turtles? turtles or tortoises. I can't remember the difference, but they have sex the way that humans do. One's on their back, one's on the front, and it's going full humping.
Yeah.
And I find that hilarious because you've got that massive shell on your back as well. That must be awkward. There's
Heavy.
so many.
There's so many. Do you know what's also funny is that when you're telling that story about the robins, you called one of them Steve.
Yeah.
And I noticed that whenever you call an animal Steve, and I'll tell you why I'm telling you this in a minute, whenever you call an animal Steve, it's always funny.
Yeah.
Like, what is so funny about the name Steve? Why is it always funny?
Right, so some words phonetically have a funny sound.
Yeah.
And I've noticed this when I'm telling certain jokes. So, for example, I've got this joke I talk about the magic circle. I did this corporate show for the magic circle, which is law firms. And I thought it was for magicians because that's what I thought the magic circle is, which it is. But there's also the magic circle, which is for law firms.
What?
Yeah, there's top 5 law firms in London and their subsidiaries make up the magic circle.
What do you mean?
That. Exactly what I just said. So that's just a term. That's just like a group of. That's what they've called themselves.
So they're not the actual magic circle, is what you're telling me.
So there's a magic circle for magicians. And now in London, there's a group of law firms
that call
themselves the magic circle.
But they are not magicians.
They're not magicians.
Right, okay.
But I'm there to do this award show.
Yeah.
And I didn't know this. So I came there ready for magic. I was literally going to go, is this your card? I was there for magic. And I had this joke where I'm talking about finding out that I was wrong. And I was like, because I say to the audience, and I explain to them what the real magic circle is because most people get it wrong.
Yeah.
And I go, you think you feel silly now? Imagine how I felt when I walked onto that stage in what I thought was a very fashionable cape. Right, so even now, that made you laugh. Yeah. Because what actually happened was I was going to wear this really sparkly tux. But sparkly tux isn't as funny as fashionable cape.
Very, very true. Yeah. Although actually on you, a sparkly tux does sound quite funny.
Yeah, but not as funny.
Not as funny as a
because I used to say that and it didn't get a big reaction. But the moment I said fashionable cape, that word cape is just such a beautifully finishing sound.
Yeah.
That hits a punchline.
God, that's fascinating. Because it is funny. Like, I remember taking my dog Sid for a walk before I had the other dog, Walter. And it was just Sid and I was in the park and there was a man walking a dog that was quite a boisterous dog, but he had called his dog Mike. And I just loved the idea of a dog being called Mike. And then, of course, Sid and Mike, they're both very 1970s names. And then we met another person later on who had a dog called Dave. So we've got Dave, Mike and Sid.
I've always said if I have a dog, it's getting a human person.
It has to. Well, the reason I brought it up is because you obviously called the Robin Steve and I've got a spider in here. And it's just a normal house spider. I've had it for about 4 months. And you'll see.
The spider.
Yeah, obviously, because it's a spider. And it's over there and it's got this little, it's made like a little, you know when you get mouse holes on Tom and Jerry?
Yeah.
It's got its own little hole and it goes in and it goes out. And I don't know how long it's going to live for, but every now and then I think he looks dead, Steve. Yeah. And I go through mourning because I feel like, oh God, we've been together for 4 months and I've built up a relationship. I talked to it and all this stuff. And sometimes it looks dead. And Wednesday I hoovered and I thought, I'm going to have to hoover it up, bless him, because he's dead.
Yeah.
He's been looking dead for quite a few days and I don't really want to look at his dead carcass. It's hurting. So I thought I'd just tap the ground to make sure. And it was actually alive. I nearly killed Steve and it would have... And I would never have forgiven myself for killing Steve because that's the point of that I'm saying is when we give a silly human name to an animal or an insect, we just have a relationship with it in a way that we don't when it's just a spider. And it's fascinating that Steve is the name that seems to be used a lot.
It's a funny name.
Yeah.
I've heard it in other jokes. I've heard it in songs.
Yeah.
It's
that name.
Everyone knows a Steve.
Yeah. And I think because it has a 1970s / early 80s feel to it. It's the same with like, I always think this about names. Now we're on that subject. Like, why would you call a boy, like say you've just given birth and you look at the boy and you go, oh, it's like an Ian. I mean,
Yeah.
why? Why would you call a child? No disrespect to any Ians,
There's so many names that only suit you as you're older.
yeah, like why would a mother call a baby like Neil or Ian or
I've got one of my best mates. It's called Barry.
yeah? Come on, you can't. It's not like it was.
It's a great name as an adult.
But as a boy, as a
Baby.
I've got a friend called Barry. I stabbed him in the hand with a screwdriver once. He has forgiven me, but he likes to show me the scar every time I see him. He did call me a fat slag, though, so it was deserved. Just saying, for the record. But I often think about that name. I think, Barry, how do you look at a baby? And I know, again, it goes to perception. This podcast will be called Perception because we've used it so many times. But it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But it did then. And that's the whole point, isn't it? Everything makes sense later on.
Who looks at a child and goes, Ethel. Hello, Beatrice.
I know. It doesn't make sense. It never did. I don't get it.
Sometimes the not making sense is the fun part.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So sometimes I do like that, the fact of not knowing.
Yeah.
There's things. So even that, and I annoy people with this because I will retain the information when I need to. So someone goes, "Where are you gigging this week?" Don't know. I haven't looked.
I am last minute.
I will look at the start of the week and plan my week out, and then that's when I'll tell you.
You live on the edge.
Yeah.
So actually the chaos is where you're at.
Sometimes it's fun to live in the chaos.
And actually,
Sometimes the fun is not knowing stuff.
but as a performer, that would be the story of your life. You've done the old West End. I know I've got to ask you about this because obviously musicals, West End. What were you in? Daddy Cool?
I was in Daddy Cool.
In a very fancy outfit, and you ended up at a party with some well-known people there. Is that right? Did you turn up in a very nice costume? Tell that story.
So this was in which party? This was in, where was I? We're in Germany. Mm-hmm. We did a show called Vettendas.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. And it was like a Graham Norton type show.
Oh, okay. A chat show.
Yeah. And we were on there because we were going on tour in Berlin. We were there to do like a mega mix of all the songs that we do in the show.
Yes.
And on this same show, we found out when we get there, is us, Christina Aguilera,
Wow.
Nickelback,
Wow.
Denzel Washington.
What?
Yeah. So I'm walking around all these dressing rooms, seeing the names and going, no way. How often does this happen?
Never for most of us.
Ever.
Never.
And then the first one was, as we were walking back from the set, I was so elated because the show went, like every time you do a dance show, my brain's going, all the things that can go wrong. Once it's done, you've got this feeling of relief.
Yes.
So now I'm walking back to the dressing room and I look left and Denzel Washington stood next to me as he's walking back.
And you're wearing what?
I'm wearing a sparkly blue leotard and flared blue jeans, bright blue jeans, with a full-length silver leather jacket covered in Swarovski crystals. Oh, and an afro and a pimp hat.
Did you speak?
Yeah. My brain's going, you say something right now because this could never happen again and probably will never happen again. And all I could get out, which I thought was clever until the moment I said it. Not even, hi Denzel, lovely to meet you. I went, is that the shirt you wore in Man on Fire? My brain went, you idiot.
Whilst you're dressed like that, you're asking him about his shirt.
But he laughed. And he was like, no, I just love these shirts. I got loads of these shirts. And he started talking about it. He goes, yeah, the shirts we had in the show. Like, that was just a lot of the shirts that I will wear. I was like, dude, it's very cool. Like, this is very cool to meet you. And he was really, really nice with it. And I was like, can I get a picture with you? And his security, his bodyguard, sort of stepped in front, put his hands on my chest to push me back. I was like, I'm getting this picture, dude. and even then, actually, I laugh at it now, but the moment he put his hands on my chest to push me back,
oh yeah,
my brain
temper
was like, one of us is going to hospital right now.
Yes,
and I could feel it bubbling up.
Yeah,
because and it was just like such a natural reaction that the Ian have to go, let's take a deep breath.
Yeah,
of that
because
one.
Denzel's standing right next to me.
But it wasn't even, that wasn't the reason at all now. That's just because I know what worse looks like.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, if I don't calm down and he doesn't take his hands off me, this is going to end up bad for everyone.
Can you imagine if that was the story?
And then it was, let's take a deep breath, because I was so far out of that cycle. Because I was still a bouncer back then.
Oh, you were still working on the doors.
Yeah. So that was the natural reaction. You've got this, because the bad thing about, especially bouncers back then, you weren't allowed to lose.
No.
Because you lost the club.
Yeah, that's right.
So
it was a dark industry, really,
Yeah.
being a bouncer then, because it was.
We used to get people that would go to clubs to test the bouncers. And if they beat the bouncers up, then they'd come back and go, right, we'll take the door over. And then they became the new bouncing team.
So you always had to be really switched on.
Yeah.
Like
I
anything.
used to go to work thinking it's going to kick off tonight. That way, when it did,
Yeah.
I was never surprised. And I could react quicker. So I was probably the most stressed I would have ever been working a nightclub.
Because you were constantly switched on.
Yeah. You're waiting for... I can't go to clubs now. I go to clubs and I can only see the bad.
Yeah, of course. You're scanning all the time.
Or constantly. So I don't like being in nightclubs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because I can only... And it was a weird thing to look at people with. Because I spent so many years only seeing people at their worst.
Of course you did, yeah.
And that became my barometer for things.
Like, what would happen now, though? Because back then, I don't think knives were as such of a problem as they are now.
No.
So, obviously, stab vests and all of that. But, like, who wants to do that job?
Also, there's a bit of a... So, taking a step back, when we started as bouncers, you would do a 4-hour shift. Most clubs are normally 10 till 2. That's when you'd start. Maybe you start at 9 if you got there early, but most things 10 till 2, and you'd be paid 150 quid.
150 quid?
Mm-hmm. So you think, if I'm doing 4 nights a week, that's £600 a week.
Yeah.
What's that? 2.5 grand a month.
How long ago is this?
This is like 15 years ago,
Yeah.
15, 20 years ago. So off a part-time job, you're now walking away with maybe 25, 30 grand cash.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the people that you got to do, and you paid that money for a reason, because the people that you got to do that weren't the people you wanted to fuck about with.
No, that's true.
So when we were kids, most people knew that if you started a fight in a pub or a club, you were going to fight the bouncers as well, and that's something you did not want to do.
Yes.
And then what happened is the licensing came into play.
Yeah.
Which obviously I see the point. You want to know who people are that are doing stuff.
Yeah.
But the moment the SAA took it over and it became about license, the problem was anybody now can be a bouncer. And you don't want... And things though, anyone can be a bouncer, but being a bouncer is not for everyone.
Yeah, that is very, I would imagine, very accurate.
And I've been to clubs. There was one club I went to. This lady must have been well into her 60s. I thought, if this kicks off tonight, she's going to get hurt. There's nothing she can do about this. And now this team is one bouncer down, because they're going to have to make sure that this lady's okay, because she's old.
Yeah.
And it's...
Was she causing the problem?
No. She's just there.
Right.
But I know why clubs, because clubs is a business and you want to save money. So now that anyone can be a bouncer, you start cutting the numbers down.
Yes.
So no one gets paid that money anymore. Now people are getting paid £6, £5 an hour.
And they don't care.
And why would you for that money?
You wouldn't.
If it kicks off, I'm not getting involved in that.
Yeah. Well, it's the same with if you do get security on shop doors now, and you just think...
I've done that. I was a security guard for Waitrose. It's probably my lowest point, but it taught me a lot.
Yeah,
taught me about
sure.
patience, that one, because I really didn't want to be there.
No.
This is after doing theatre, so I'd done this massive high.
Where you're standing next to bloody Denzel Washington.
Yep. And now I've got back and there's no work. There's no work. I run out of money. Now I've got debts that I didn't have before.
Oh my
God.
God.
If I'd have got a job, any job, I wouldn't have needed the debt. So
Yeah.
I'm now angry at myself
Yeah.
because I know that I've put me here.
Yeah.
To get out of it, my brother-in-law lent me money to get my license, my SIA badge. And through a friend of his, I got a job working in Waitrose.
In London?
In central London, doing being a security guard. And it felt like a massive fall from grace. I went through so many processes in my head because I knew I had to work there for 2.5 years before all of my debts were paid off and I didn't have to deal with it anymore. And then I was like, right, once this is done, I can leave. But I had to stay there. And because I had to, I hated it even more.
Yeah.
But even then, there were times when people would steal stuff and I'm like, it's not my stuff.
Yeah. And
Like,
and John Lewis is all right.
I will be a deterrent, but it's just stuff. And I do remember this one dude. This dude was probably 2 inches taller than me. He's a big dude and a similar size as well. And I've watched him walk in. Normally, if I watch someone walk in and I get a bit of a thought they might be someone who's up to no good, I will follow them and even not follow them, just keep around so there's a presence there. Because I know, and this is where acting comes into it. People don't know if I can fight, but I look like I can.
Yeah.
And I know how to look like I can because I'm an actor.
Yeah.
And I've seen this dude, and he's clocked me, but he's still walking over there, and he picks up this bottle of whiskey, I think. I know he's going to walk out with it, and I'm still in front of him. And all I could say to him was like, dude, if you try and take that out, this is going to end badly for both of us. And you can see in his face go, yeah, he's right. And he put it back and then just left.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't want to fight him. He's a big dude. But he also doesn't want to fight me.
Because you're also
I'm a big dude.
Yeah.
This is going to be huge.
Yeah.
And you're not confident that you're going to win.
Yes.
Neither am I.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I'm confident that you are going to get hurt.
Yeah.
One way or another.
Yeah.
Because I still had that mentality that sits there from the doorwork where we are outnumbered.
Yeah.
So you will pick it was like having a war chest just in case something would happen.
Yeah.
And it's just not a nice.
Well,
I didn't like who I could. I remember the first time I realised that someone was scared of me, and it felt horrible because then I felt like my dad.
Yes. Now, that was the question I was going to ask you earlier when you spoke about the anger. And obviously, anger is pain.
Yeah.
And then we project that pain in a container that looks like anger. But actually, it's coming from something we've learned somewhere else. And actually, as well, interesting theory, and I'm sure you know it, where children identify. So they're first attracted to their opposite sex parent, okay? And then by about 3 years old, that's completely repressed and they identify with their same sex parent. So in your case, your dad. Later on when you're angry, and obviously you've got the history of him being very inconsistent and at times, physically hurting you. When you then become angry, you're actually embodying the pain that he has passed on through emotional and physical abuse, I guess. And then his will be somebody else's that's just passed on. Interesting, you've caught it. So in many ways, you would call you the cycle breaker. You've caught it because you've seen the identification. You've felt the shame.
Yeah.
What he was doing was he was externalizing his shame and his guilt and his pain with anger. You did for a certain amount of time, but now you've been able to step back, observe that, and say, I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to externalize this pain in a way that's going to hurt others. Yeah. And that's the profound bit. And I think when you look at it like that, that's where I say it doesn't matter what someone shares with me or what you share on stage. There's so many other people that have been angry or acted in what they consider to be shameful ways that are just externalizing a pain that was handed down to them.
Yeah.
And that's why we must share it.
And I've been really lucky. There was this one time I thought I killed this kid.
Oh my God.
And that has been the most terrified I've ever been.
Oh, I can imagine, yeah.
And I didn't mean to. We were outside a club. We were working, give it context, wasn't just out clubbing. And we were outnumbered. There's a group of guys, they've been thrown out, we're not letting them back in. There's like 4 of us, maybe like 8, 9 of them. It's got to the point where arguing's done. Reasoning's out the window now. Now all they want to do is they want to fight.
Mm.
So our thing was, normally we never throw the first punch. So I'm stood there waiting to react. But I can see one of their sort of little ringleader boys is sort of edging closer and closer to my mate, who was the head bouncer. And I can see him sizing him up. So I'm thinking, if he goes to swing for my mate, I'm knocking this dude out before he's got a chance to.
Yeah.
Which, in theory, made complete sense until I did it. And I hit this kid, not necessarily hard, but I hit him right.
Yeah.
I just caught him clean. He was out cold before he hit the floor.
Oh, my God.
And the way he hit the floor, he just bang and stopped moving. Literally eyes open, not moving.
You must have been petrified.
My brain went, you've killed him. And the annoying thing was, and the thing that I had to deal with, is before this happened, I wanted it to happen because I was in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And I was like, if this goes off, we're fighting.
Yeah.
I'd stop speaking, which is, once I stop speaking, I'm ready to punch something.
Yeah.
Because speaking, words are done now.
Yeah.
You're not listening. So if you keep going, I'm probably just going to punch you in the face.
Yeah.
And so that's he went to move his arm, and that was enough for me to go, he's about to swing. So literally walked up to him straight away. I had the justification. I thought he was going to hit my friend. But looking back, I know I was in a bad mood and I was angry, and he just became the target of my anger for this day.
Yes, that is dangerous.
And everyone's going, dude, you need to leave. And I'm like, I can't go anywhere until this dude twitches.
Yeah.
I was like, because I won't think about it. I mean, the moment he blinked and moved, I was like, right, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
But at that point, for that couple of minutes, I saw everything that was about to change in my life.
Yes.
I was like, that's me in prison for 6-7 years, even if I hadn't meant to. Because you won't, it's not with, have you ever seen like a documentary called One Punch Killers?
No, I haven't.
So it's the legislation around people that have got into fights and then one of them's died. You don't get done for murder.
No.
Because you haven't meant to.
No.
And a punch shouldn't really cause death, but sometimes it does.
Yes.
So I can't remember what the charge is.
Because it's about intent, isn't it?
Yes. You haven't tried to kill him.
Yeah.
And normally it is a fight's kicked off and one of you's thrown a punch and then you've died.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting, actually.
Yeah.
But I looked at that and I was like, that's me going away for 5-6 years. And then I started thinking about me in prison.
Yes.
And knowing I'm not sharing my food. As dumb as it is, I'm not having someone take advantage of me in prison. I know I will fight back. That's going to make that sentence a lot longer. And in my mind, I'm going, if I go in prison, I'm never coming out.
Which happens to people.
Yeah.
You know, they go in for something minor relatively, and then they never get out because of how they adapt to that environment, which is why the environment, going back to what you were experiencing with your dad, is so integral, as in, how do I learn when you're on your own with it, which you were, and you've had to figure this all out yourself. And luckily you're a storyteller, so you're constantly cathartically going through things. But if you don't have that man there who has, when he's been present, you know, beat you up or whatever, if you don't have that man there and you've got all that pain of feeling like you're not enough, what the hell do we expect is going to happen to someone?
Yeah.
You know, it's integral. And that's why when you're on stage, and you mentioned right at the beginning, you said a lot of women are coming and they're bringing their sons with them, or they're showing you to their sons, because you are that person where there is a sliding door, many times actually, nearly dying, nearly ending up in prison, all these nearlies. And actually what's happened is you've ended up being a very successful comic, and you are very successful because, one, you're very good at it. 2, people buy tickets to come and see you. 3, you get on the telly every now and then and we see your face on. Also, every time I turn on the bloody TV, you're on it lately. A music quiz show here and a house of cards there. So, you know, I think, and to do Apollo, to host Apollo as well, like you've gone to great heights, but you nearly ended up killing a man in front of Denzel Washington, for God's sake. It was just, there's always been a different, and I think that's the key. And it goes back to why I mentioned relativity earlier. It's everything and nothing. Every moment is that. It can be the worst moment of your life or the best moment of your life. And you are the epitome of making different choices. And you've had about 6,028 jobs. Is that right?
God, I've read all of the jobs.
You've had all of the jobs. And that's the point, is that you don't have to just accept that it's one thing. You can keep trying and changing and moulding. And so right now, on this tour, being more honest than ever before, how have you received the audience and how have they received you?
I wasn't ready for the level of empathy to come back.
Right.
Because normally I go there to give something to the audience.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for what that would mean to them. Like, there's been a couple of times on stage where I've just broken. I haven't been able to get the words out, and I would try to fight it, and then it would just happen. So there's times I can't look at the audience because I know it will happen again.
Yeah.
And I wasn't prepared for that, but it's been incredible.
So what's next then? Because obviously
that is the title for my next show.
No way.
What's next? Because I haven't got a fucking clue. I don't know what to write a show about now. And I think that's going to be the fun part.
Yeah. I mean, I can imagine it's going to be a time of integration after this show, where you've done a lot of work on yourself whilst doing the show. And all of those different parts that are coming up as the performer, because like you say, no performance is the same now. It's going to change ever so slightly each time. And I think you'll integrate those parts and you'll work out which part to take forward for the show.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, at the Fringe next year, I'm going to do a work in progress show. So I'm actually going to work on it with an audience, through the audience.
I was gutted to miss your show. I went on holiday at the same time you were there. And I know I'm coming tonight, but I love Edinburgh because it's such a small audience. And I wanted to see you in that really tiny little, room. I know
much fun.
Yeah, I bet. That must have been exhausting though.
Emotionally.
Yeah, because it's a whole month.
Because I didn't know the show.
Of course.
So I was still working through the show whilst doing the show, because this was a show that I didn't practice in clubs.
Yeah.
There was not really any club material in it. Everything was written for the purpose of doing the show.
Yeah.
So I was working through this every day.
Yeah.
Saying all the things you don't want to say, but now you get to say it.
So do you feel comfortable? Do you feel more comfortable with yourself now that you are being honest?
Yeah.
Do you think there's more to be honest about?
Loads.
Oh dear.
Loads.
Pandora's box has been opened.
There's so much.
Yeah.
There's so much that comes out in drips and drabs. Sometimes it's loads to be honest with a certain group of people.
Yeah.
Because some people, there's people that are meeting me now that are getting the most up-to-date version because they're getting the raw honesty.
Yeah.
And there's people I've grown up with that I'm now letting in more than I ever did before.
That's the hard thing.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to be radically honest with new people because they don't know you.
Yeah.
But I think when you've got groups of friends that you've known you all your life, they often don't like the new version of you. They want, because everything's projection, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they just want the version of you that they know. And often when you change, they don't like it.
And there's another thing as well. There's people where you don't want to be honest with them, even though they are your really good friends, out of fear that they will judge you and not be your really good friends anymore.
Yeah, you don't want to lose them.
Yeah.
But then, truthfully, and this has obviously been said millions of times, but if someone walks away from you because they don't like you, fuck them.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think you are allowed to be whatever version of yourself you want to be. And some of it is going to be good and some of it is going to be bad. And if people walk away because they don't like the honest truth of who you are, you've obviously just triggered something in them that they can't deal with. You might not want to lose them.
Yeah.
But by losing them, you're going to gain so much more.
Acceptance.
Yeah. And sometimes that's a lonely place to be.
Yeah.
Because you realise the things that you really wanted to work just didn't. Whether it's friendships, whether it's work, whether it's relationships, it just didn't work the way you wanted it to. And often we blame other people for that. What we're forgetting is we keep choosing it. We keep choosing a situation that doesn't work and we're not doing anything about it. And so it's so important to just keep letting people go.
Yeah.
And not pushing them away, but letting them go if they want to.
Yeah.
And grieving them and then carry on doing what you're doing on the next cycle. And as you said, you don't even know what it is yet. No. Are you fully present now? Do you feel like at the moment, or are you
more
still
present?
Yeah.
I don't. Every time I feel I'm fully present, I realise I could be a bit more present.
Yeah.
And then, so I think I'm more present.
Yeah.
And I'm just aware that it can always be a thing.
Yeah. Well, how, because your show tonight is in Leicester. Obviously, this won't go out. So next year, by the time this goes out, are you going to places that you haven't been to before?
Yeah, I can't even tell you which ones.
So they're just places, magical places that if you go to Emmanuel Sonubi,
EmmanuelStandup.com, all of them are listed.
and this has been endless, your shows, not this podcast. And it's going to be, by the time people get to see you, it's going to be even better, I'm sure.
I hope so.
You're honing as you go. And thank you, by the way, because actually, just to say, I want everyone to know that Emmanuel offered to come back on. He actually said, do you know what, shall I do another podcast? And I said, yes, I'd love to do more with you. I could speak to you all day, every day,
Yeah.
but you're so busy and I'm so busy.
If I'm in the area, I'll do a podcast.
Thank you for coming back
You're very welcome.
into my flooded shithole of a studio. No, I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Aww.